Hey y'all, thanks for dropping by the garden today. I'm Zach, the Gulf Coast gardener, and over the past 4 days, we have gotten 12 inches of rain. So for today's video, I jumped out when I could in between rain spells to grab a video of the back garden, and then I will do a little voiceover to kind of guide you through this tour. So sit down, relax, and let me show you what my back garden is doing here in the middle of May. So here we are, starting with the beautiful red Chinese hibiscus. This plant does get a bit large, so it does benefit from a few cutbacks to kind of keep it in a little bit more shrubby shape, but it is hardy here in my zone. Right there we have some Mexican petunia with some bee balm started from seed. And then the Blue Fortune Agastache is really showing out this season. This was planted via 1 gallon from my favorite realtor, Kim's nursery. You can see a beautiful bumble helping himself to the beautiful pollen from this pollen-rich plant. This is our 5-in-1 Asian plum tree, and I do have some plums coming up. Another little view of that Agastache. Coming down, you'll be able to see the Ruby Parfait. This was started from seed, and it has held so long in a vase. We'll definitely keep some seed this year to repeat that next year. Our white doll's daisy is starting to bloom. We just planted her. I expect her to get much more beefy in the coming months. Our Love Live's bleeding. I had tried several years to get this plant going and finally had success. Those beautiful red tassels are really giving me life. And of course, the Luna Pink Swirl Hibiscus. This is a hardy hibiscus, again from Kim's nursery. Some of the 4 o'clocks haven't quite opened up yet because we're filming this a bit earlier in the day. You can see the pink cashmere verbena is starting to flush again after its fertilizer. Now this one really is a showstopper. This is the Playing the Blue Salvia, and this is its 2nd or 3rd year in the garden, and I have divided it and spread it out among this border with this slender Hinoki cypress behind it. Is really just a beautiful pairing. Of course, the Echinacea purpurea that we also started from seed. You can see here, this is a cute little find. This is the native petunia. It is a trailing plant that I hope to make a beautiful ground cover in the garden. I have 2 clumps planted. The espaliered pear tree is doing its thing. Moving right along, on the other side of our AC unit is another hardy hibiscus with what I term the tropics. You can see here the giant elephant ears and our banana trees. Next to our tropics, I have my little raised vegetable garden. This is full of tomatoes. This here is the Rosano tomatoes, which should be a beautiful paste tomato. Right next to that is a purple Cherokee tomato that is already starting to put on some good size. Here you can see our beautiful hedge of phantom hydrangeas just starting to bud out. They can get up to 20 inches long with that beautiful white flower. They are a sun hydrangea, but I do have them planted here in part shade. Our little arbor is going to bring us right across to our bonsai cryptomeria with our Nico blue hydrangeas, and of course the stunning, hey little guy, here we have a beautiful little ladybug, hopefully eat some aphids. And this is on the Carolina Sweetheart Redbud, which offers 4 different colors: the pink, the white, the green, and a bit of a burgundy red. You can see another little Playing the Blue Salvia. That was a little cutting I took in the garden. Really happy here with that Sun King Aurelia that you see that bright chartreuse color. And then there's some hydrangeas planted through here with some columbine that are finally starting to wane a little bit. Very impressed with this sunset elephant ear. She is doing just beautiful. This is my shade border, and it is just filled with different colors and textures, not so many flowers. It has hostas, elephant ears, coleus, canna, camellias, variegated artemisia, caladiums, even a hydrangea that I actually took from my mother's house a few years ago from a cutting that I had planted forever ago. Now, if you remember, I had completely chopped down this Vitex that's growing in filtered light, and now she's offering me the most beautiful blooms. This by far is her most beautiful season yet. I've never seen a Vitex with such large bloom forms on it. The petals themselves are much larger than your typical one. Really am in love with this. I got this for $5 from clearance at Lowe's. It has that beautiful fragrance, sends me straight back to my grandmother's house. Probably not a fragrance everybody will love, but something I love. Now this one's new to me this year. This is the Mountain Mint. Most people rave about the Mountain Mint, and it's just starting to put on its show where it's getting a little bit more white at the tips. Super excited to see it flower. You can see some of our caladiums. They did overwinter for me, and now they're starting to push their new growth. That beautiful crane statue was a gift from my husband. He loves to give me gardening things. You can see I try to use sticks here to make a border. And now we're moving over to our camellias. I have 3 camellias planted in short succession here. This here is our beautiful oak tree that shades most of our lawn. She is a huge giant tree. We have nicknamed her the Glimmering Oak. Of course, more caladiums and the plumeria, our Everillo carex. And our beautiful fountain of trident is starting to settle in beautifully. The leak that we had to repair early this season has definitely resolved. Here's our Virginia Dayflower. It has started to do something on its tips. I'm not sure if that's getting ready to flower or if it's a sign of stress. I will keep you guys updated. Back there is a beautiful dogwood tree that was planted more recently, I would say last fall. My little bench moment so we can enjoy the fountain. Now we're moving over into the moon garden. The moon garden has really come together for me. You can see the Georgia peach heuchera, that highly variegated foliage really shines in the winter, and those caladiums that we planted, the Florida moonlights, are really starting to push out and form their heads up. The euphorbia that we had planted in the Diamond Mountain came back from the winter and is starting to push new flowers. The oak leaf hydrangeas are a little past their prime. They're starting to leave that pure white and turn into more of that green color, but they still offer that beautiful large leaf, which I'm a huge fan of. Moving right over into our fairy garden. It looks like the dogs have been here and have knocked over our little fairy houses, but we'll get those picked back up. But that there is filling Flirtatious Tradescanta with variegated Creeping Jenny. Now that variegated Creeping Jenny did offer me some beautiful flowers this year, a beautiful yellow cupped flower. This here is a brown turkey fig. She's probably in a bit too much shade to really produce, but I do love the big leaf and the look of it and the possible promise of it producing fruit. And now we're back on the other side of our hydrangea hedge, and this is the side of the garden that enters the brick patio. Right here is some proven winter's begonia that overwintered for me, completely unheard of in my area. You can see we had some more of that Ruby Parfait. We're passing one of my favorite roses, the Blue for You. And that here is a cordyline that we recently planted together. We have a hole here that I need to fill, but I have just picked out a plant and I can't wait to show you guys when we get it planted. Here is my rose tree. This one is the carding mill and she has some buds at the tip getting ready to bloom. Some shelled ginger coming back. This one is a blue mandevilla and she has done really well for me. Back on the other side of the redbud tree, you can see our beautiful walking iris as well as the lamium that we had planted. You can see this is sterling lights begonia. Only one leaf came back of a large 3-gallon clump. It's supposed to be a hardy begonia to zone 7, but it didn't quite do it well for me. Another view of our beautiful shade border. I love this vantage point where you can see the mondo grass leading into the fountain with the crane being framed by the tree. And now this here is my espaliered gardenia bed. This is also the Japanese maple bed. You can see another hardy begonia there in the corner, and then our wishbone flowers that we had started from seed and just planted out. Another repeat planting is that Aurelia Sun King for that bright chartreuse pop. We have Swanthula playing among the beautiful woodland sword ferns. There's a little ginkgo tree in front called American that is a true dwarf ginkgo. This large leaf there is tractor seat. Loving this plant and would love to add more into the garden. You can see our little portal Matawa Yutsubutsu Japanese maple. And we do have paper white foliage that is working on absorbing some light, and once it starts to yellow, I will cut it back. This here is our weeping willow tree that I transplanted from the front yard. It is currently in a pot. Our foxgloves are kind of past their prime, but I do see more spikes coming from the sides. Working my way through the bed, you can see this is the Sky View hydrangea from Proven Winners, and they consider it a continuous blooming hydrangea. Walking past our shampoo ginger and our Ragosa rose will bring us to the flowering maple or Abutilon. But before there, let's stop and look at this beautiful full moon maple. Loving this new color it's pushing. But yes, this is the flowering maple, and this started blooming for me in February and really hasn't stopped. This is its 2.5 years in the ground, and she's really starting to reward me with her beautiful arching stems and dangling flowers. It's the perfect magical woodland feel that I'm going for in this garden. Continuing in this garden bed, you can see I had just planted this new spiderweb fatsia. I did replace a Mahonia fortunii that did not thrive and planted this there instead. And I'm already loving the large leaf variegation and how it's playing against the mondo grass. Here we have our 5 rosy maidenhair ferns that we recently planted up in a video. And then our bleeding heart vine overwintered and is starting to climb up the moon arch. In the center, it'll meet this beautiful witch's finger grape. This is the Witch's Fingers grape, 3rd year in my garden, 1st year in the ground, so I'm hoping to get some fruit pretty soon. A little pot here has some mahogany ajuga that I started from a cutting, and it is doing great. That's cherry chocolate's tomato there. And then our little woodland border with our ostrich ferns and heuchera, another sky view hydrangea, and this is a native volunteer, the beautyberry calicobra. I love its flowers, I love its fruit, one of the great native plants you can plant in your garden. And final bed here in the backyard is another redbud. This is the native redbud, canadensis, underplanted with our desiccated caladiums that did push. Those are the fancy Munsons, I believe. A beautiful ground cover Asiatic jasmine, interplanted with some camellias and roses. And finally, after 5 months of tending to my chicken, they finally rewarded me with some eggs. Now here's a lovely surprise. This is a garden pond that me and my husband decided to install pretty recently, and I'm over the moon about it. This is the interim photo. Here we have the final install, and I'll bring you guys in closer in the next few days to really discuss all the planting and options that we did here. To have our water movement, I did use a pot, and I have it as an overflow with a canister filter sunk into the ground next to it. We're going to put a lotus flower and a lily into this beautiful pond. Can't wait. Well, thank you guys again for dropping by the garden today. I hope you enjoyed the little tour we did. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions over cultivars or any suggestions to really help make my garden pop. And let me know if you're floating away just like we are here in Mobile. Okay, guys. Well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.